A wild scene in downtown Barranquilla when street vendors go after a store owner. The city's mayor cracking down on the vendors in an effort to clean up the downtown. Paraguay VIP. President Lugo spends the day in Bogota and takes in the sights at the Cathedral of Salt. Chiquitecas. Police in Boyacá cracking down on the famous underage drinking parties. And, too close for comfort, the controversy with the new pet cemetery in Pasto. But let's begin in Barranquilla, where the mayor doesn't want hordes of people hawking cigarillos, chiclets, minutos, mambambon, you name it, in an effort to clean up the downtown area's reputation. So he has ordered the city center closed for several hours on Monday during a protest by vendedores ambulantes, as they're called, who say it is their right to sell whatever they want on the streets. The sound of a gunshot breaks the calm and sets off a violent protest. Witnesses say the owner of a downtown store wouldn't close, so a group of street vendors tried to force him to close up shop. The store's security guard fired a warning shot to disperse the hostile crowd, which ended up wounding one of the street vendors. The guard at the store is the one who shot me, he says. The street vendors then tried to ransack the store. We are making arrests for breaking into the store, said the police officer. The downtown was closed because of the protest made by street vendors who are convinced the Barranquilla mayor's office wants to ruin their livelihood. Shifting to politics now, President Lugo of Paraguay traveled to Colombia this week. Paraguay's President Fernando Lugo says police in his country can learn a lot from the Colombians when it comes to dealing with kidnappings. In fact, Colombia's police will be training Paraguay's forces as part of a new agreement. President Lugo spent several hours with President Uribe on Monday, then paid a visit to Colombia's Supreme Court, the Congress, and the Bogota mayor's office. President Lugo traveled to Colombia with a delegation from Paraguay, some of whom will stay behind to work with the Colombian government on a new security agreement. In the meantime, before he left, President Lugo got to take in some sightseeing, stopping off at the famous Cathedral of Salt in Zipaquirá. Nearly 2,000 people from Valencia in Cordoba marched against the violence committed by the renegade former paramilitary troops known as the Águilas Negras, or Black Eagles. So far this year, 32 people have been killed by the Black Eagles in Cordoba because they wouldn't pay them off or do what they wanted. Most of the victims were farmers and local business owners. The march was organized after the murder of a staff member from the mayor's office, and more than 30 farmers were forced to leave their land because of threats of violence by the renegade former paramilitaries. Colombian teenagers love to party, and for the under-18 crowd, they call the rumbas chiquitecas, like little discotecas. But underage drinking here, just like in the U.S. and Great Britain, is against the law. And as RCN's Oliver de Iglesias reports, police in one town are cracking down.
Hey Ryan, that's right. Police in Boyacá are asking parents, do you know where your children are? This after 50 teenagers were arrested in a chiquiteca. That's right, a chiquiteca. Well-known local parties where thousands of teenagers, drinks, lots of buzz. This is the story. The chiquitecas are underage parties, which is why we are blurring the video, and they are well known in the town of Duitama, where more than 100 partying teens have been busted this year. We have noted teenagers are changing the schedules. They are now partying at chiquitecas during the day. At this particular party, roughly 50 drunken teenagers were busted and taken to the local police station. The problem, say police, is that teens like to do what they know they shouldn't. Repeat offenders will face severe penalties, and so will their parents. In fact, police are telling parents they need to do a better job of policing what their kids are doing. Well, as you can notice, this is a very serious social trouble. That's why police say that this latest chiquiteca is the second one they busted in less than 2 weeks. So with all this information, we leave you all the way from Bogota, Colombia. This is Oliver de Iglesias, RCN News in English.
People love their pets, and when their pets die, some people want their pets buried. Well, in Pasto, they are burying dead pets right next to the main cemetery. And as RCN's Ana Maria Hernandez tells us, that has created a bit of an uproar.
Well, Brian, would you like your dead grandmother buried next to your best friend's dog? That's exactly the controversy that's erupted in Pasto, Nariño at the Central Cemetery. Wealthy pet owners have been burying Fifi and Dito in a lot right next to the city's Central Cemetery. and that's got people angry, thinking it's disrespectful.
We don't bury pets here, but it's true. They have been buried in the adjacent lot.
In the past, security guards from the central cemetery have helped of grieving family bury animals in the lot next door.
We don't bury dead animals here in the graveyard, but we do it in the lot nearby. We've laid dogs and cats to rest in the spot behind us, but never in the cemetery where we bury people.
The pet cemetery near the real cemetery is the talk of the town. I heard about it from a friend of mine. Their animal was buried next to the central cemetery. Considering the controversy, city authorities are talking with the owner of the lot next to the cemetery to stop animal burials until a compromise can be worked out. For RCN News in English, I'm Ana Maria Hernandez.
It is time for Your Colombia, where you send us your photos and digital videos. It's kind of funny how most of the My Colombias we've been getting lately have been from out of the country, from Colombians living abroad. Here's a videotape we got from a viewer named Diego Garces. He was in New Jersey over the weekend.
Hey Brian, I say hello to you from the Latin Grammy Street Fair, where Cabas was one of the main headlines this weekend here in Union City, New Jersey. Let's check that out here in RCN News in English.
Coming to Colombia, well, we have got the forecast for you. Let's check the business traveler and visitors forecast. And we're going to start off on the coast. Monterrey, cloudy with 24. Sincelejo, lots of clouds, 25. Cartagena and Barranquilla, definitely not going to be a beach day. Valledupar, lots of rain. Same story in Rio Hacha. As we make our way down into the center of the country, there we have Cucuta, Ole Ole Toche, 25 degrees Celsius, lots of rain in Bucaramanga. Tunja, 7 degrees, rain. Bogota, yeah, you need a bufanda tomorrow night. In Ibagué, 18 degrees Celsius, more rain in Neiva. Cali's got clouds, Popayán has clouds, Pasto has clouds, and Villavicencio in the Llanos, well, looks like they're going to have some storms. But regardless of the weather, it's always a great time to visit the beautiful country of Colombia. I'm Brian Andrews reporting from the RCN News Center in Bogota. That's going to do it for the RCN News in English this morning. I'll be back at 7 o'clock tonight Eastern Time with more headlines from Colombia. This is RCN, and we're bringing Colombia to the world.